How about now? Are we good? Yeah, all right. Every time. All right. Hi, welcome to the stream. I'm Mike. I write. That's what I'm doing on the stream. That's what you came here for. Of course, there's nobody here, but theoretically speaking. Gotta say, not feeling it again today. I got like, what, 90 some words written yesterday? It was a shorter stream, but still. What are you gonna do? Had a bit of coffee go down the wrong way earlier this morning, and it's bothering me. I should probably shave. Or not, whatever. I don't really care about my face. Writing. What am I gonna do today? Hold on. I'm gonna rub my face on camera. That's what I'm gonna do. Riveting television. All right. Mostly today, I just feel a bit sleepy. A little bit under the weather, I guess. All right, I'm gonna have to fix this, but maybe not today. I'm not feeling the urge to fill things out today so much. All right, I was going to check on a thing. All right. Weird internet signal stuff going on still. Oh well. I'm led to believe that it's not choppy anymore, that it's not cutting out, so. All right, what am I going to write today? Excuse me. My apologies. Okay, this sentence doesn't flow well and it's bothering me. Something at home in his sitting room, which had almost entirely taken over. I like almost entirely better than almost completely. It's the quasi alliteration. The vowel sounds almost entirely sounds better. Items of evidence, bits of pieces of evidence, by documents and evidence he had. right, well, we'll... Particularly large. I like that. All right. Speaking of alliteration. Oh, hello, viewer. Welcome to the stream. Hi. I get a lot of viewers popping. It must be just people popping in, realizing what the stream is, and then leaving. After I end my stream, I always get an email with my stats, and it tells me I had 11 or 15 or sometimes as over 20 unique viewers over the course of the 2 hours. But there's only ever a couple people that pop into the chat and say hi. So, if you are a new viewer or someone who hasn't introduced yourself yet, by all means, pop into the chat and say hi. I'd love to say hi. Hi. See? If you're watching this on the replay video or on YouTube, pop in when I'm live sometime if you can and say hi. Kind of the whole point I'm doing this. Well, there's two reasons I'm doing this stream. One, to force me to sit my ass down and get some words written, which I'm not doing at the moment. And two, to, meet people and say hi and maybe build a bit of a community of other people who write and stuff like that. So the two most regular chatters in the chat box there are both writers as well, working on their stuff. And we talk about plot issues and ways of getting through the difficulties that we face as writers. Which, I mean, we talk about difficulties, facing difficulties as a writer. None of the difficulties I have ever faced as a writer have been particularly serious in light of actual real-life difficulties. But there's still problems that need to be solved. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, speaking of. If that doesn't tell you something, I don't know how easily I'm distracted just by somebody popping into my stats box on Twitch as a viewer. Not even talking to me. Yeah. All right. Hey, Zedcore. Hi, haven't seen you for a while. How goes? Actually, I'm not feeling terribly well today, but I always feel better when people pop into the chat box and say hi and distract me. Saves me having to distract myself. All right, I was in the middle of a sentence too. It's also, and this was the key advantage. Undoubtedly. Advantage. Oh, I don't know about a lot of work. I don't know about a lot of work. And given that I'm supposed to be doing NaNoWriMo and you're supposed to be hitting, what is it, 1,200, 1,600 words a day to hit the 50K in a month. And I've been averaging probably just under 1,000. Yeah, no. Nowhere near what I was planning to get done. But yes, I've been getting some stuff done. And I think I'm just over 7,000 words or 7,500, which is more than I've ever gotten done during a NaNoWriMo before. So, yes, progress is being made. Hooray. I am, however, likely in trouble for the rest of the day. I've got some voice work I need to do later today. That might have to wait till tomorrow, given my throat situation. Where was I in the sentence? Had been entirely taken over by documents and evidence, leaving very little to sit. Ha ha ha. Funny. The sitting room has no room to sit. Ha ha. I am so clever. So put an Oxford comma in there. The best kind of comma. So how about you, Zedcore? Have you been writing? Getting some words down? I wish you could say yes, too. Now, I keep getting confused between who was in what situation because the chats because I'm losing my mind half the time and the chats have been happening over several days and intermittently while I'm also working on a novel. So, but it was you that was wanting to write or thinking about writing but hadn't plucked up the whatever to sit down and actually start writing. Yeah. The first book you've ever finished on your own? Okay. How does that work? You've confused me. I'm not sure how else you would read a book. Oh, you mean like for school or something? I see. That I guess that makes sense. Wow. Okay. Yeah, you and I have very little in common. Yeah, okay. My lord. Yeah, no, I've actually part of I'm not sure how to get into that one. My reading habit has kind of dropped off significantly the last few years. I haven't been reading nearly as much as I'm accustomed to doing. Um, partly because having moved to China and living here, I've tended to move house, to like move from apartment to apartment a lot more often than I might otherwise have. I don't want to collect a lot of books. Books are heavy and hard to move. I do use an e-reader. Actually, hold on. Forgot that I had it in my recording booth. This is my current e-reader of choice. It's a books. I don't know. I assume that it's supposed. Why won't it focus on stuff? Focus here. Focus here. Thank you. Yeah, I assume it's supposed to be pronounced books, but in my head, I always say books. It's a 10-inch, 10-point-something-inch e-ink Android tablet, basically. It connects to my Kindle account. I can also easily sideload things, and then I have format shifted from past purchases back in the day, PDFs and stuff for academic reading, things like that. It also allows me to write on it. I can annotate those PDFs and save my notes as searchable text for later, which is kind of nice. In theory, I could probably play games on it, but it's an Android tablet, but I don't know that the refresh rate on the e-ink screen would be up to the job. It would be an unpleasant experience. Mostly I use it now for reading, just general reading, pleasure reading, whatever. And I also use it for my scripts when I'm doing voiceover. I just throw my scripts as PDFs onto this thing, and then I don't have to worry about paper rustling, that kind of stuff. So I've been reading more since I got that than I was even reading on my Kindle. So yeah, partly I haven't been reading as much because, living in China, moving around a lot, probably not worth collecting physical books. Although the 3 shelf sections up there behind me, I just bought the Terry Pratchett Discworld series, the entire series, 41 books. I'm working on a project with another gentleman who lives here in China. We are going to read them together, a book at a time, and do a podcast discussing each book as we read them. He hasn't read the series at all before. I've read it before, but not for a while. So that's something I'm working on. That's the other reason I haven't been reading as much lately, is because I've been busy, really, really busy. Up until about a year ago, I was working 3 jobs, 15, 16 hours a day between outside the home work and trying to build up my business, my company, working freelance, online, stuff like that. So had a mortgage to pay, had a car to pay, I had a lot of things to pay, but the house is now paid off, the car is paid off. I'm technically, well, I don't know, I'm not unemployed, I'm self-employed. But in terms of China income, I have none at the moment, which is awkward. But yeah, anyway, I haven't been reading as much up until the last few months, actually, I guess, is when I sort of picked it up again more. I've read 3 or 4 novels in the last couple of months, which is more than I have before in the past couple of years. So, itchy eye, sorry, don't mind me. Do I have any favorites? Yeah, lots and lots of favorites. The Discworld series, I haven't read it in a while, but I have read it a couple of times, or most of the books I've read 2 or 3 times in that series. And I do consider it to be one of, if not the best series of fiction written in, I don't know, maybe the last 100 years. And I include my previous sort of standout favorite, which was The Lord of the Rings, in that comparison. I think that it's a superior series. Lord of the Rings was more formative for me. and probably makes up more of my DNA as a writer and as a reader for that matter. But as a series, in terms of how it was written and entertainment value and that sort of thing, yeah, Discworld, Terry Pratchett, Discworld, 41 books. I highly recommend it. What was the book you were reading, Zedcora? I know that, well, actually, I don't know where the name came from. Z439 Core 000. No idea how to read that. Zcore works for me if it works for you. But yeah, what was the book you read? Let me guess. Something by Proust, Dostoevsky, Franz Kafka, a Norwegian book, Haruki Murakami, Norwegian Wood. Oh, I'm familiar with the Beatles song, but not the book. I haven't heard of it. Let me tell you what. I'm gonna Norwegian Wood by. Can I? I'll do a quick. Can I copy? I can. All right. Save me typing. Oh yeah, I don't have a. I usually keep a browser tab open with Google just in case I need to look something up. But I closed everything today. Okay. Surrealism, magic realism, postmodernism. Okay. So I mentioned Kafka. One of his titles is Kafka on the Shore. So he's surrealist. Yeah. I could see, I mean, I haven't read any of his stuff. I have no idea really what he's all about. But just looking at the first page of results here, I would guess that he might not be the most accessible author for someone who isn't an avid reader already. Yeah, Norwegian Wood. All right. Take a peek here. A nostalgic story of loss and burgeoning sexuality, told from the first-person perspective of Toru Watanabe, who looks back on his days as a college student living in Oh, God. No, dude, no. Yeah, that was probably a bad choice. Uh, okay. Yeah, it was deeply personal, internal struggle, internal conflict, nostalgic, reminiscent type book. Great for book club. Lots of themes and things to discuss. Probably not the most enjoyable first read in a long time, no. Discworld, yeah, I would recommend Discworld for most people who aren't avid readers. They're fairly easy reads. The style is accessible. Okay, Discworld is a comedy fantasy, basically. They're satire. They take elements of society and popular culture and that sort of thing, and they satirize them. They make merciless fun of us as a society, as human beings, at our ridiculousness. So, the question that you're going to face is where to start with the Discworld series. This is an enormously controversial topic within the Discworld fandom. Do you read them in publication order, which is how I read them, and for someone who enjoys reading in general and likes books, and like if you're a fan of Monty Python or Kids in the Hall or that sort of surrealist absurdist comedy, not surrealist but absurdist comedy, comedy of the absurd, then you'll have no problem whatsoever getting into the series at all. Start with the first book and move your way through. Hey, Bobicus. Read three of them in a row, couldn't remember what happened in any of them. Really? Okay. Um, yeah, I could see that. I can see that. Um, for me, I sometimes can't remember what happened in which book. They do sort of blend together for me as well. Um, but yeah, it is often recommended that, okay, so the Discworld 41 book series can be broken down into sort of sub series based on who the books focus on in terms of their character set. So within the world of Discworld, there are different groups of characters that tend to be together in a book to the exclusion of the others. So you'd have the City Watch books, you'll have the Witches of Lancre books, you'll have the Wizards and Heroes books, City Services books with Moist Lipfig, or however you pronounce his name. Um, Death. Death is a recurring character. One of my favorites, actually. And he's got his own couple or three books. Um, so I was perfectly happy reading them in publication order, mostly because I read them kind of as they came out, as they were released, most of them. Generally, people are advised not to do that because the first book is nowhere near the best of the series, and some people find it a bit dull. The first book, the Color of Magic, is it started off life as four short stories or four novellas that were sort of massaged together into one novel length narrative, and they do hang together as one story, but maybe not quite as well as other books in the series do. Um, I mean, it's hard for me to make a recommendation as to where to start because I enjoyed all of them reasonably well. A lot of people would say start with Mort, which is the first Death book, because it introduces the world almost better than the first book does. Death is a fan favorite character. It sounds odd, but he's hilarious. Uh, Not intentionally, but he's hilarious. Mort is, well, it centers on Death. Death decides to take on an apprentice. The eternal cosmic force of cessation, Death, decides he needs an apprentice. So he gets an apprentice, Mort, uh, who sets about learning the business of being Death. it's 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 funny. It is really, really charming and funny and enjoyable. And if you don't like that book, you probably won't like the rest of the series very much, I would say. If you do like that book, it's a pretty good in to the rest of the series. I guess for a lot of people, knowing what to expect is a big part of enjoying or not enjoying what's coming up. So, like if you're expecting a horror novel and it turns out to be a comedy, you probably won't enjoy it as much as you would if you sat down to read a comedy and it was a comedy. So, yeah, Mort might be a good place to start, or publication order. You might find those good. Other favorites that I've enjoyed. I mean, when people ask me about my favorites, I go back to things that I've read over and over again. Um, Anne McCaffrey's Pern series, actually all of Anne McCaffrey, her Psionics series, the Ships and City series. I can't remember what all of these different series have names that I can't remember. Um, the Brain Ships series, the Psionics series. I mean, Anne McCaffrey is sort of what I call fantasy science fiction, or sci fantasy. I don't know. I've never been able to come up with a good portmanteau for that, but it's very soft science fiction, effectively. She deals a lot with like psionic powers and things that for which there's no basis in science, but it happens in space, so it's science fiction, right? Um, Anne McCaffrey, yes, definitely her stuff. Um, it doesn't. I don't see it holding up terribly well to modern audiences, like readers younger than I. I read them when they came out when I was young, and really enjoyed them. But having reread the Pern series, or at least the first 7 or 8 books, recently, it they don't hold up to modern sensibilities. There's a lot of misogyny and some unfortunate views of society that sort of come through in them. At the time they were written, they were actually quite progressive, believe it or not. But given the modern sensibility and the way that most people these days have of insisting on interpreting and understanding things from a long time ago only within a modern context, and then therefore finding everything problematic. I cautiously recommend Anne McCaffrey to new and younger readers. Um, what else? Vonnegut. You're saying Vonnegut? Yes, yes, Vonnegut. I love Vonnegut. I've got to reread Vonnegut too. He's worth revisiting again. Um, Ting-a-ling, you son of a bitch, or something along those lines. Yeah, but okay. So the thing with Vonnegut, you don't need to remember specific details and elements, although there are very many very memorable pieces of his books. But Vonnegut novels for me have always been about sort of an overarching idea or feeling, more than anything else, and that they do very well. What else would I recommend? Greg Bear's Eon and Eternity, if you're into science fiction. Um, those are good books, enjoyable. I love the concept. The writing is solid. Werner Vinge's Real Time series. He's more famous for other books, but those are the ones that I was introduced to him with, and I still go back to them quite well regularly, semi regularly. What else? Oh, for science fiction, Ian M. Banks, the Culture series, mind blowing. Fantasy. Huh. I can't think off the top of my head. To be fair, I can't remember Breakfast of Champions at all either, and I'm pretty sure that I've read it as well. Uh, but I can picture the cover, Breakfast of Champions, whoosh, with like sort of that the more you know style. Yeah. Um, but again, it's been a while, and I've read a lot of things, and the way my mind works, I don't often remember in detail things that I've read or viewed in the past. I'm sort of a big picture, 1,000 foot view pattern seeker kind of brain rather than a detail oriented person. But yeah, no, those are some suggestions. I'm not sure what you like. What kind of TV shows and movies and stuff float your boat? If I have an idea of what kind of stuff you enjoy, I can maybe make some more specific recommendations. This paragraph. I started off trying to fix this first sentence in this paragraph, and I ended up kind of borking the whole paragraph instead of fixing that. That sentence is better now, but the whole paragraph doesn't work anymore. Ah, writer problems, huh? Okay. So let's see. All right. That's a better way to do that. Entirely taken over by documents and evidence, leaving very little room to sit. Well, there wasn't as much of it as he might have liked. No. Oh, we seem to have lost somebody. Oh well. Okay. It wasn't particularly large. There wasn't as much of it as he might have liked. But then his sitting room wasn't particularly large. It was, however, larger than his desk at the station. It was also, and this was undoubtedly the key advantage, not at the station. All right, I find myself starting to write in a more humory kind of style with this, and it's not the direction I wanted to go with this book. All right. All right. Okay, I'm going to stop editing now and start doing some writing. Yesterday seemed to be kind of a fixing things day for me. Fixed my wife's mobile phone, replaced the battery, it's not a phone that has a replaceable battery, so that was fun. Fixed my glasses. At some point in the last couple of days, one of my pads, nose bridge pads, tore off or was removed or fell off, or I don't know what happened. It was broken anyway. I only noticed because I found out my nose was sore on the side and then realized why. Because my glasses had no nose pad and it was just digging into my nose. So I fixed that, replaced the broken one with one from my other glasses, which now have a missing nose pad. I don't wear those ones as much, so fixed parts of my story yesterday, but I didn't do any new words, really. So, yeah. Actually, I say my average word count for Nano so far is about 1,000 words a day, but given the 4 or 5 days where I didn't have any words at the beginning and the couple of days where I had only like 100 words, I doubt if I'm anywhere near 1,000 on average, but okay. So we need to talk about. Now I've got to come up with another character. All right. Who's my other character? I'm getting too comical, so make a tragic relief. Yeah, I get it. I get it. But sadder. So a clown, basically. Involve a clown in my story. Um, no, I don't think so. I don't think that I will. I think I'll just have to rein in my proclivity for witty and comic turns of phrase. I do enjoy a good pun. I think it was talking about. God, I sound Canadian there. Talking about the Discworld series, because that's very much in the style of that sort of light-hearted, wry, satirical sense of humor. Yeah. Oh, I see my camera has moved in its framing. There. Not that it really matters, but. All right, he approached. Okay. Now, so this is something I've been kind of mulling over as well. In a Victorian style police department, you wouldn't have discrete department like sub-departments like vice and homicide and that sort of thing. Probably not. Policing, in my mind anyway, policing at that time was almost entirely about things like theft and murder, like violent crime. Recreational drug use was, I don't know actually, were there anti-drug laws? Yeah, I mean, that's sort of what I had in mind. Like drug use in Victorian England was pretty common. Actually, everyone was toked up to the max, and there were no. I don't think there were any laws prohibiting any drugs. Victorians used alcohol, opium, cannabis, cocoa mescal, and hypodermically. Yeah. Oh, morphine and heroin. Yeah. I mean, Holmes was famously an addict. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is have one guy who kind of seems to specialize in cases that are on the more sordid side. He deals with like, hold on, I need to, I mean, I don't need to. I'm not tied to any particular historical context, but I'm searching for Victorian policing and laws, and it keeps bringing up results for the state in Australia, Victoria, the state in Australia, and yeah, not what I want. So yeah, a lot of watching for fires. They were meant to prevent crime rather than, yeah, okay, so that doesn't really help me much, unfortunately. So I guess so Victorian England was sort of the dawn of the modern policing age, as it were, within the Commonwealth Western tradition, started by a guy named John Peel. So early officers were called bobbies or peelers, which peelers has come to mean something else entirely. Um, and they didn't really operate the same way that we think of the police now. There probably wouldn't have been too much detectiving. Oh, boink my table there, and it gets all wobbly. Oh, it's shaking. Ah. Um, so I guess I'm kind of on my own here. These are decisions I normally would have made a long time ago before I started writing. Uh, I'm not used to this sitting thinking about stuff while I'm supposed to be writing stuff. All right, well, I guess what time is it? It's 11. I've looked earlier. Normally I don't look until 11:40. Hmm. what would be a good word for that room where all the where everyone has their desks? Hmm. Yeah. This is really my biggest problem. I'm not adding words, I'm replacing words. It's like going for a walk on a treadmill and expecting to get somewhere. All right. Hmm. So what would the ranks be? Um, riveting viewing, I'm sure. I'm reading an abstract of a scholarly article about employment policies in Victorian England. Had a sneeze, couldn't get a tissue. Sneeze went away. Still kind of there. Just lurking. I hate that. Oh. Mm. Okay, that doesn't help me. Sergeant, inspector. Okay. So inspector is pretty low. Oh. Should have read this more closely before. All right. Mm-hmm. So there are special ranks: special constable, special sergeant, special inspector. There are, oh, Robert Peel, not John Peel. I think I said John Peel. It's Robert Peel. Mr. Peel. Sir Peel. So there are special versions of the ranks and members of CID, Criminal Investigation Department, up to and including the rank of Chief Superintendent, can prefix their rank with detective, or can be prefixed with detective. Okay. So, special sergeant. Special constable? No, it wouldn't be constable. Special inspector. Okay, inspector versus special inspector. No. Okay. Special constabulary. Special inspector. Oh, I guess I'm just gonna have to make some stuff up. uh, yeah. Okay, come up with a name. All right, look up my old list of standard Victorian England surnames. Wood. Wood. Now, what I generally do when I'm coming up with a name for a character I'm likely to use more than once, oh, even otherwise, when I'm coming up with a name, I just do a quick Google search to see if there's anyone famous that I'm unaware of with the same name. I don't want any unintended connections made there. Oh, I can't spell corner. think I'm going to just stick with American spellings. It just makes my life easier. I suppose I could probably change the dictionary that Scrivener's using, but whatever. I'm Canadian. I can go both ways. Hey, now. In properties of being outside and being adjacent to a back door. This. Yes, I would. Very well. No. Just get some words down. Stop being so fussy. Okay. Overly silly. Hmm. That's cool, dude. Food is important. And I certainly don't expect anyone to stick around for a 2 hour stream of me writing. I expect people to come and go, pop in, pop out, hopefully do some of their own writing, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, while I do mine. I would encourage people to write along with me. Uh, dialogue. Mm. Yawn, yawn, yawn. Too much excitement there. This scene, I don't really have a clear picture in my head of it, so I'm finding it difficult to make headway. There's a lot of heads in that couple of sentences. Yeah, the other stuff that I've written that went much more quickly. I had a pretty good idea in my head of where I wanted it to go and what I wanted to happen. I'd sort of blocked out the action, blocked out the conversations already mentally. Here, all right. Well, I guess this is what Nano is for, right? Just shut your face and start writing, something like that. I'm gonna have to fix this later. I don't like doing things that I know I'm going to have to fix later. I'd rather make a reasonable attempt at doing them properly the first time. But Hmm. Does that if you put the... So it only changes 3 dots to an ellipse if you type the third dot at the end. If you go in between two periods and type another one, it does not convert. Interesting. Ah. That's what it was, right? Should have double checked that. Okay, so his suspicion at the moment is that he thinks that that someone is killing people using the moths for some weird reason, and that someone is drugging people before they set the moths on them. Frank Berg and David Wood. Dave. Nah. No hard-boiled special detective investigator inspector dude is ever going to be called Dave. uh, Jim Wood. Nah. No, I'll think on that. I'm not satisfied, completely satisfied with the character's name yet, but uh hmm. Hmm. So, Should capitalize dust. Nah, that looks too cheesy. Dust to. Okay, well, it's noon. I am going to keep going for a bit, but I think I'm going to go refill the old coffee cup first. So I'll be back in a moment or two. Where's my... Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Took a little bit longer than usual to brew the brew. I don't use a drip pot coffee maker. I use a mocha pot. So each cup of coffee I drink, I have to make. I also roast my own coffee beans because actually it's a lot cheaper than buying pre roasted beans here in where I live. I ordered them wholesale from a wholesaler in Yunnan province. Usually about 10 kilos at a time of unroasted beans, and then I just roast small batches as I need them once or twice a week. Compared to, I mean, even like Starbucks beans or really any other brand of roasted beans you can get here, roasted coffee beans are very expensive here. Um, well, they seem very expensive to me anyway. You're looking at what, 300 yen per 250 grams, or per kilo rather. So that'd be about $70 per kilo in Canadian dollars. A bit less than that in American. Call it 50 or 60, but $50. So 25 to $30 a pound, which seems pretty high to me. I buy them for about 10% of that. So $3 a pound, give or take, um, by buying wholesale and roasting my own. So I do that anyway. Um, Actually, one of my, excuse me, my group is blowing up a bit here. Mm. There we go. All right. Where were we? Where was I? What was I done? What was I dunning? Okay, right. No. Be getting from somewhere. That kind by your might out from the All right, so we need... yeah, okay, that'll work. So wood is not going to be terribly cooperative, I don't think. He doesn't want some ham-fisted detective inspector going around stirring up his hornet's nest that he's got working just the way he wants it, scaring off his informants and things. So he's not going to connect Frank with anybody. Messages popping up. Uh, I'll just do that. He's about to say something, but doesn't get it in. Ask around. And worse. On his own. And he could be a bit touchy. Hmm. I guess I did get some words done today, didn't I? Appreciate any reading it from me. Save that. Statistics. Am I over 8,000 words yet? Yeah, 8,300 words. Cool. 12:30 now. All right. I think that's a solid bit of work for now. Let me see where I was at. What's my progress today? NaNoWriMo. 8346. All right. So again, I haven't broken 1,000 words today, but what have we got? Only 800 words. 900, yeah. What's my average? Does it tell me that? 490 words per day on average, counting the 50 days at the beginning and all that. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I guess I'm gonna call that a stream, call that a day. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, so there's a sequence coming up here, several scenes that I've got a reasonably good idea about. That's going to be, I think, a fairly smooth bit of writing. Make a bunch of words up there. We'll see what I can get done that way. And when. I may just leave it until tomorrow and do that on the stream. We'll see. See what the rest of the day holds for me. Otherwise, I keep saying I want to get back to the novel and do some writing later in the day, and so far that hasn't happened. I think I've pretty much only written during the stream and not outside of it. With the exception of a couple of evenings, I tossed out 100 words or so just so I could update my status on the Nano site. But yeah, shiny badges work. If you ever need to motivate yourself, shiny little nonsensical badges on a website seem to make a difference, even for me, even though I know how they work. I used that sort of thing as a teacher for years and years and years. So knowing the psychology behind it doesn't change their effectiveness. I still want my shiny badges. So okay, well, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed your stay in the stream. Hope you got some words written if you're a writer. If you're watching on the video replay on Twitch, don't forget to subscribe so you can catch me live and hop in the chat and say hi and all that stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and do all that stuff. Bell and likes and dislikes if you don't likes and all that stuff. And yeah, you came back 2 minutes ago. Hey, Babacus, sorry, I gotta get going. I got some other stuff to do today. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow for more fun writing time. Catch you later.